Almost every narcissistic abuse expert, including me, tells you to leave, says, oh, you must leave no matter what, which is true, you should leave. But unfortunately, nobody prepares you for post-separation abuse. Nobody tells you that sometimes, in some cases, it gets worse than it ever has been before getting better. Let's talk about this in depth and detail so that you prepare yourself better and you understand the risk. I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topic for today's episode is how leaving a narcissist without any strategy can land you in more trouble. If that is interesting to you and you want to learn more, please make sure to subscribe, because your subscription to this channel helps in spreading awareness about narcissistic abuse. Some important info. I have recently launched an upgraded version of Master Co-Parenting with a Narcissist program, which will not only help you understand the dynamics, the risks, and how the narcissist can attack you after leaving, but will also equip you with every strategy, every tool that you need to win and safeguard yourself and your children from their abuse. If you are interested in learning more, click the I button above or the link in the description to get instant access at a discounted price. Let's lay the foundation of this episode by watching a small video clip.
Get divorced, the abuse does not stop. It doesn't stop. If anything, it probably gets worse. It's still so worth it to get out, though. You have to get out. You're not waving a magic wand and everything is going to get better.
If you think divorce is the end of the narcissistic relationship, you are wrong, because it gets worse from that point onwards. Let me explain how. Divorce means many things in this context. Divorce means unmasking of the narcissist. Divorce means biggest narcissistic injury ever. Divorce could also mean exposure of the narcissist. If all of this happens in combination, what could you expect from a narcissist? If they abused you without all of this happening throughout the relationship, what are they going to do from now on? In truth and reality, they become worse, which is why post-narcissistic abuse or post-divorce narcissistic abuse is a real thing. They try to defeat you in the court. They try to take away everything in whatever way they can. They try to alienate you from your children. They try to smear campaign and destroy your reputation. They try to isolate you further because they can't control you directly anymore.
All that said, I'm not saying that you should be terrified or that you should never think of leaving or that you're trapped forever. Of course not. The only option you have got is leaving this monster, and it does get better. But you have to see things for what they are. Do a reality check and have the realistic perspective of how things are going to be. You have to measure and mitigate for the risk which you will face in terms of money or your relationships with children and everybody else involved, which is what I'm going to help you navigate throughout this episode. Now let's talk about what could go wrong so that we can talk about how to make it right. When you leave, when you mention divorce, or when you actually divorce the narcissist, it's like beginning a war with them. It's a battle. Amicability, cooperation, understanding, mutual respect, love, compassion, none of that matters anymore. They don't care about it. They don't believe in any of that. And the only thing that matters to them is punishing you, bringing you down, making your life miserable, and teaching you a lesson. With that agenda, the raging and the injured narcissist crosses all levels imaginable when it comes to torture you. And one of the biggest tools, biggest weapons they use against you is the legal system. Unfortunately, our legal system is not prepared to detect a narcissistic abuse, let alone stop it from harming the victim after leaving. They say, oh, there is protection for domestic abuse survivors, but the protection is nowhere to be seen or found when the abuse cannot be proven. this is an entirely different story, an entirely different topic, which we'll talk about sometime later. So what do they do that leads to post-separation abuse? Well, a lot of things, some of which are painting you as a villain, as the perpetrator or the abuser or a crazy, mentally unstable parent, and making themselves to be your victim or the one who has suffered during the entire course of relationship, and they will go after every right they potentially can have over you and your children. They will weaponize the law, the legal system heavily. They will prepare documents, pages and pages to confuse you and create narratives like lies, things that never happened. They will gaslight the entire court system, all the people, and everything will be really convincing. You will be shocked to know this, that most people end up believing them. When abuse happens at this level, naturally, what is the consequence? You become reactive. And that is a biologically correct response to this abnormal situation where the narcissist turns everybody against you. Those who have the power to serve justice are now eating it up, like taking it in as if that is the gospel. And you feel cornered, you feel humiliated, you feel disrespected, you feel hopeless, and most painfully, you feel helpless. You feel like I have nowhere to go. That brings out extreme reactions, which are then further weaponized against you to support the narrative they create in the beginning. Oh, she is unstable, he is crazy, she is reactive, he is an abuser, and he always cornered me and psychologically tortured me. See, this is what he's doing now. Another aspect that makes this hell a nightmarish hell is negotiating. You cannot negotiate with a narcissist if you approach it with honesty, transparency, and trust that they will do the same. You may believe in equality, and you're a person who says, let me bring whatever I have to the table and I expect them to do the same, and there will be a fair division. They'll get what is theirs, I'll get rightfully what is mine. Oh no, that is a dream scenario which never comes true. They make you beg for every single penny. They come after what is rightfully yours, what they should never own, what they have never worked for, what they have never invested in, and they'll try their level best to happily take it all away from you. You have to jump through so many hoops when dealing with this corrupt personality type. You get to see the worst of the worst coming out of them, and that puts some people in shock. They say things like, I have been with this person for 30, 40 years. I don't know who he is. I don't know who she is. How can they treat me in this way? Well, this is the reality. This is why I said earlier, you need to prepare for it. That is what is coming for you. If you are preparing for leaving, prepare for post-separation abuse first, then take the step, because you are stepping into a war zone, a battlefield, and there is no running away from it once this battle starts. The last aspect that I would like to mention is the custody battle, the fight over the rights. This narcissist may be a terrible, a horrible, a pathetic, disgusting parent who may have never contributed in the welfare, in raising your children in any way. But now, all of a sudden, they want 50%, they want 60%, depending on the jurisdiction, depending on what the law says, they will go for the maximum. And that will make you wonder, like, who the hell are you? You never ever did anything, never changed their diapers, never took them to the doctor's appointments, you were never there in the parent-teacher meetings. Basically, you were not involved, and all of a sudden you want to become involved. Why? As I said in the beginning, to torture you, to punish you, to tell you who is the boss. So that was in summary how it can go wrong. There is a lot to talk about, and if you want to learn more about these struggles and what you should be prepared for, check out my Master Co-Parenting with a Narcissist program. I cover all of it in there. Click the I button above or the link in the description to learn more. Now, let's talk about how to make things right. First thing, You have to have a very strong hold over your emotions. You should be skilled at regulating them, because your emotions, your reactivity, and most importantly, your nervous system dysregulation is what a narcissist will heavily target and try to weaponize against you. If you go with the flow, and if you are unprepared, and if the narcissist succeeds at triggering your anger, and you try to tell everything to the court system they have ever done to you, you fail. That is what they want you to do. To have an upper hand here, your focus should be on calming yourself down and only responding when it is important and when it is necessary. Why? Because unpredictability is not what a narcissist likes. They need to know what you're going through. They need to study your emotions. If you're calm and have a very flat face, there is no emotion evidently coming up, they would not know what to do. And what would that lead to? The narcissist exposing him or herself, becoming reactive. That is what we want. We want the narcissist to show the court system who they are, not who they're pretending to be. So your calculated responses should show the court, further contribute to showing the court system who you're dealing with, and not disproving what they make it seem like, what they talk about this entire situation. The battle should not be circular like this. They are saying something and you're trying to fight it back and trying to prove it wrong. That way you will stay stuck. You have to always redirect, go in a different direction, and help the court system see exactly who this person is. How can you do that? By describing their traits. You can't use the word narcissist, you know why, for obvious reasons, and you have to target their traits. What traits? Antagonistic. They are Machiavellian. They are vindictive, punitive. They abandon, they neglect. They do not have a working moral compass. Their conscience is dead. They do not care about children. They do not have empathy. They are abusive. They're verbally abusive. All these things they have done to you, these simple traits that can show them who they are, is what you have to talk about. And when I say you have to talk about, you can't just say things, because the narcissist has a lot to say. You, on the other hand, have a lot to show. Focus on showing them. How can you show them? You can provide evidence for what? For all these traits. If, for example, if you talk about their aggression, then show the proof of all the texts, emails, call recordings, if it is allowed to record them, and if you have everything they have done, pictures, videos, whatever it is that you can gather to show the patterns, the consistency in the aggression, to show the court system what you're talking about, and to make yourself sound credible, and they should see that the narcissist is lying about you. You are a sane and an authentic person. Again, want to learn more about this? Check out my Master Co-Parenting course right now by clicking the button above or the link in the description. Now, the other thing, you have to have a lawyer first of all. Many people want to fight their case on their own because of the costs involved, the expenses. I know all of that. But if you can, please get a lawyer. And not just a lawyer, you have to have somebody who truly understands, if not narcissistic abuse, high conflict divorces, and has some kind of experience in dealing with these people and getting what their clients want. That is who you want to be with, which does not mean you need to hire a narcissist to fight a narcissist. Of course not. You will get exploited, in multiple ways. You have to have somebody who has empathy, who understands your situation and can fight for you truly. You can't just ask for what you want when it comes to negotiating with the beast. You have to ask for something they won't give you, but then they will give you something around that number, which means you have to go really up in your asking. And if you want to learn more about such techniques, because I talk about yes techniques, how to get a narcissist to say yes, how to use and weaponize their personality traits against them. I give all the examples in this program, for example, how to use their image against them so that they are forced and compelled to protect their image, to stay with it and say yes to something they would never say yes to. Finally, when it comes to your children, there are two aspects that you have to deal with mainly. One is your personal relationship with them, and you have to learn how to do parenting, how to be a trauma-informed parent, because your children are being or will be traumatized heavily by the narcissist. They punish them because they know by punishing them you will get punished. They do not love their children at all, no matter what they say or do. That is what it is. So you have to learn how to regulate your body, how to stay calm so that you can hold space for their emotions. That is one aspect, the psychological aspect. The other aspect is the legal one. You have to truly, fully know and absorb the law, especially in this context. What is the law for parenting? You may just know, oh, it's 50-50, but no, go deeper. What can you learn about it? Learn it. Why? Because you may end up finding something in the law that you can use against them. The law is not going to be just parenting is 50-50, that is it. There are going to be different conditions, different clauses. Just know it, understand it fully, and know which points, what are the things that I can use against them, things they are violating or doing, there is a law against, and I have evidence for, in what hopes? To minimize the custody, or to at least have supervised parenting, supervised visitations, anything like that, or to just let the court know that they are dealing with an abuser, somebody who is a master at the art of manipulating people. It's only after covering the different aspects of this multifaceted problem you can truly be at peace, and leaving can bring in healing and joy. If you just leave without any preparation, of course, you are going to face a lot more trouble and pain. By preparing for the battle and having a strategy, knowing what you are going to do, by knowing what you are going to face, is going to give you true freedom. To learn how to create a strategy, check out my course, Master Co-Parenting with a Narcissist, link above, click the I button or in the description. That was it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you in the next one. Until then, let the healing begin and continue.